Let's get started with episode 301 of the Current Gen podcast. My name is Tim, and I'm here with Dan. How you doing, buddy? December's here.
That's right. The month that usually games are kind of like, oh, we're just like hanging out. It's whatever games. But Tim, a very important game came out in December. So it's like double
It's
the
true.
Christmas.
It's true.
Yeah.
And we don't often get major releases in December, but I feel like this is starting to become a bit of a trend. I have
Mm,
done no research on this. This is just off the top of the old noggin. Here, let me pull up our Christmas fireplace first here, Dan. Ah, there we go.
there we go. There we go.
Um,
I was
there's
starting to
our
get cold,
fireside chat.
actually.
Yeah,
So
and now
thank
it's
you for
it's
that.
Christmassy. We're into the December season, and Dan mentioned Christmas presents, so that's what we're going with. Yeah, warm it up, warm it up. I know that Cyberpunk came out in December in 2020, and I understand that was like
Hmm.
a disaster
Was it
launch for a lot of
December?
people. I'm pretty
Huh.
sure it was a December game. I'm pretty sure
I
it missed
forgot all about that.
the chance to get awards for that year, and then they cleaned it up a ton, and then people loved it by the time the
Yeah,
next awards
December
rolled
10th.
around. So
Huh.
I know
Totally forgot
that
about that.
Assassin's Creed, I want to say it was Valhalla, probably came out in December. So there's been some in recent years,
Hmm.
but generally speaking, I never think of December as a key release. Oh, Xenoblade Chronicles, I think two, not three, I don't think, but I think two came out in
Hmm.
December. And it was like,
Fantasian came out last December.
okay, Fantasia. Yeah, I think that was a surprise
We
release
got
in
two
the
years in a
Switch's
row of
first
RPGs.
year. Yeah, in the first year of the Switch existing, the first Switch, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 hit in December to wrap up what was a crazy
Yeah,
year
yeah.
between Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey and then Xenoblade 2. That was crazy. So, listen, it's not like we've never had a big December game. Last year we had Indiana Jones, which we all loved. So, yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like, here we are again with another December with a couple of really awesome games and very, very different games. So, we'll talk about those. There's a couple of
Mm.
headlines, not a lot. And then we're going to close it out with making our predictions for the Game Awards, which are airing this week. I believe it's this Thursday. I think it's Thursday, coming up sometime this week. So we'll take a
I
look at
actually
those,
don't
make
even
our
know. I
picks.
haven't even like double checked that.
Yeah,
Totally
yeah. So we'll.
behind
Maybe
on all
I'm
that.
excited to watch it. To me, it's a nice, like we've talked about this before.
Yeah,
It's a nice like E3 in December kind of an event. You get
yeah.
lots of announcements. You get to recognize fun stuff from the year, and so yeah, we'll make our picks for that show.
Well, it's nice to
But
also
Dan, let's
have
just
like
jump.
an official thing. Well, I was gonna say
Yeah,
it's nice to have an official, like an actual official thing to like recognize people in the industry because making video games
yeah,
is not easy. So
yeah.
like it actually is genuinely. So the year where they were like, "Hey, wrap it up," it's like like
Right.
let the folks have their moment.
That's right. Yeah, let them talk. I'm with you. And I don't mind it being a longer event either. It's not like I don't know. You don't have
Yeah,
to watch all of it, so you don't have to watch any of
right.
it, honestly, if it bothers you. So, but I enjoy that it exists and that it's there. And we've talked before about like how we'd like it to be better or whatever. But that's fine. Like everything has room
Totally.
for improvement, pretty much. I can't think of many things in life that don't have room for improvement. I'm really glad that that happens, and I'm excited for it coming up this week. So, yeah, we'll make our predictions on
Yeah.
that, and then we'll respond to all of it um, next week. But I want to talk about this game first, Dan. I'm going to kick it off with some Metroid
Sure.
Prime 4 Beyond. So it's
All right. Let
finally
me pull a
here.
Derek and take a nap. No, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
you just fall asleep. You just fall asleep. Metroid Prime 4 was announced,
Just kidding.
I believe, at E3 2017 or in a Nintendo Direct around
Yeah.
that
Let me
time, 2017.
hey,
I'm
let me
pretty
confirm that
sure.
because yeah, it was.
Because the
Uh,
Switch had hit, it was a major success. People were hyped, and then I think they did a quick just a title reveal for Metroid Prime
mm,
4, and then that's
yeah,
all. I'm pretty
E3
sure.
2017.
There you go. Yeah. So
There you go.
we knew it was on the way 8 years ago, over 8 years ago, really. If you're being fair, 8.5 years ago, we heard about this, and then about halfway through that time, I think it was about 3 or 4 years in, give or take, it was like, hey, we're restarting. We're gonna go back to the drawing board with this thing. It's not what we want it to be. I don't know whose fault that was or what. I don't know any of those details. All I know is they went back and rebooted at least certain elements, maybe a lot of elements of this thing. And now it is here and it has launched. And there's part of me that wishes that Nintendo would make a bigger deal out of the Metroid franchise. I'm not saying they hide it, but it just kind of feels like, I don't know, they treat it like such a niche game when I actually think it has more broad
Mm,
appeal than people give it credit for. That being said,
yeah.
I'm glad it still exists because they would have had every. I think they would have been totally justified in just like, we're not going to revisit that IP. It just doesn't sell well enough. So I'm glad it exists still for them because they
Mhm.
could write it off if they wanted to. Um,
They seemed
but
more hyped with
mhm,
Dread when they were kind of like talking about Dread versus
mhm,
this one. But I'm
totally, it got
wondering
its
if
own
that's
special
also
like
because of
treehouse thing, right? It got a whole bunch of extra
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Hmm.
I'm wondering because of the situation with this one, it being so like prolonged and like people kind of like
Hmm.
memeing about delays. You know how when a game hits a certain amount of time, and delays and so on and so forth, it
Yep.
just kind of becomes like, oh, okay, whatever. Like, so I don't
Yep.
know.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's probably a combination of all those things. And I think and Nintendo's not alone in this. Other companies sometimes make some odd
Right.
marketing decisions. But for something that I believe as I'm playing through it, I think I'm like 4 or 5 hours into it now. I believe it's just got just an insane amount of production value. It is so high quality. And I might even suggest
Hmm.
might be the best looking game Nintendo's ever made. Just not in terms of necessarily um
Okay.
art style, but certainly in a game that's trying to have a realistic sci-fi, and realistic I use kind of loosely, but you know what I'm saying. It's not trying to be a
Hmm.
stylized Mario game. It is going for kind of this gritty, real sci-fi feel, a little Halo-like, you might even say.
Hmm.
And I think it's one of the best looking games Nintendo's ever made. Not that it's perfect, but it certainly looks great on the Switch too. So that being said, I've been playing it for a little while. I played it both on my 4K TV as well as in handheld mode. I think both play
Hmm.
great, and it looks really pretty on both the handheld screen and with the dual stick controls. Which, by the way, you can also use the internal gyroscope. So, like while you're holding in your lock button, which pretty much stops the screen from moving, and you can move your reticle around the screen, or it will lock onto the nearest enemy. Even then, though, it doesn't mean you don't miss because you absolutely miss. You still have to aim. The lock on just kind of puts you up. Think
Yeah.
of like the Metroid games when you kind of locked your gun in and aimed up and down. It's a little bit of that, but in
Yeah.
a 3D. So it's a little different. Takes some getting used to. But anyway, you can use a gyroscope to kind of do some more precise aiming. Sometimes with the dual stick, maybe you're just a little bit to the left or to the right, and you're just like, I can't. If I nudge a little bit, it goes too far. Like you just can't get that right feel sometimes.
Yeah.
Having the gyroscope to literally just turn your little system a little bit, well, it's kind of nice. It really is, because some of these
And
enemies
it's pretty
you got to
accurate.
break off. It's very accurate. You got to break off, pieces of armor, and there's
Hmm.
a small little window where their weak point is, and it's really helpful to have that just that little aim tweak that you can do, which is nice. Um,
Cool.
but yeah, I was immediately blown away by the visuals. I think it looks really, really good. I already thought that Metroid Remastered was really pretty. This, I think, takes it to the next level. I'm a little surprised with how good it looks because I thought, hey, it's on the Switch One, it's probably going to be just okay because they're trying to make it work on both.
Yeah.
Um, but I think it is super crisp and it runs very, very smoothly. Now, to be super fair, there are certainly flat textures in certain areas where it's like, well, that wall or floor may be a little bland. Like you can see even right here. All right, that's a little bland at times, but generally
Yeah.
speaking, I barely even notice that because of the detail and the lighting and the creatures and the foliage and everything else that's all around you is alive and so detailed. And the thing, and you can see on the bottom of this is the Nintendo Life review. I'll go back just a second because when you're playing on a screen, you can either do quality mode when you're docked, which is 4K, 60 hertz, 60 frames per second, or performance mode, 1080p, 120. So I actually
Oh dang.
jumped right into 4K, and I think 60 frames is perfect. I don't.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll feel differently if I were to really play 120 a lot, but I feel like that quality of picture mixed with that smoothness of 60 is exactly what I need when I'm playing it. So I think it's silky smooth. But I don't know if
Yeah.
you've
It's
become a
surprising.
60 versus 120 guy, Dan, or not. But
I mean, listen, like 60 was finally a thing for me when I got the PS5, right? Because I didn't have the PS4
yeah,
Pro. So like I
right.
saw the light, so to speak, once I, was able to
Yeah,
more regularly do the 60. Cause like obviously
same.
Derek was always the guy that was like, oh, I love 60. I love the 60 frames or 120 if that were
Right.
possible. Um, But yeah, I get 60. 60 is nice. 120,
It is.
I know I've played something on my PC at 120, and I
Mhm.
was like,
Yep.
okay, like I do actually notice a little bit of a difference between the 60 and 120, but
Yeah.
it wasn't like I need everything to be 120 then, you know? It
Right.
was like
Right. If
this
I'm able
is
to pick,
cool, I
if they
guess.
give you the option to max it, I like to stop it at 90 because I actually personally, and I actually did mess around with that a lot on PC. I can't tell the difference between 90 and 120 in most games. Maybe some games I
Okay.
could if I looked really closely. So if I can max it at 90,
Yeah.
that allows it to then focus all the rest of the power on other processing, like with the fidelity and things
Right.
like that. Um, so to me, 90 is kind of that the top tier, but 60 is very good. I'm happy with games that run in 60. I'm fine with if it's locked at 60, whatever. And so
Especially on a
I'm real
Switch,
impressed.
you know?
I'm really impressed by this. I was just gonna say, really impressed by the
Yep.
way this runs on a Switch too. Um, so yeah, it runs super smoothly. I do recommend, if people play this docked, use a pro controller. I do like the detachable Joy Cons work fine too. Um, but I think the best is that Pro controller. Even the last generation Pro controller you can use with your Switch 2 works great. And
Yeah.
the what is interesting though is they actually did, and I'm curious if this means they're going to release Metroid Prime 2 or 3 especially, because you can use completely the Wii type controls if you want to, where you actually point at the screen to shoot and you hold both
Mm,
controls in two different hands and one of them moves your character around and you can strafe with, and the other one is where you actually aim at the screen to turn your camera and to aim and all that. Very much reminded me of playing Metroid Prime 3 Corruption with the Wiimote controls.
yeah.
I thought it worked really well actually, like the sensitivity, the aiming, and there's a quick reset button. So if you kind of feel like you're aiming off to the side, things are kind of wonky, you just click the right trigger in, and wherever you're aiming, it'll recenter that to the center of the screen. So you can kind of just aim front and hit that trigger, and then it will all reset for you. So I did play it like that for a little while. I like it. I just prefer either the handheld mode where you can use the gyroscope or the pro controller where also you can use the gyroscope to help with that precise aiming. Both of those have that. So I think it controls really well. I'll keep this review going for Nintendo Life here. There's some
I
really
am
cool
shocked
elements. You can
about
see this.
you.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. No, I was just gonna say, like, because you were talking about the visuals, I
Yeah. Hmm.
then kind of like strayed from what I was gonna say. Um,
Yeah.
have you gotten to the desert part yet?
Yes. I have.
Okay, because that's the main thing for me. That like when they started showing the later stuff, I was like, I don't know about that desert part. Like that looks kind of
Yeah.
just looks real
It's
empty and
empty.
boring. You know?
Yeah, it is. It's not necessarily okay. So in my opinion, the desert is fine. It's just because it's so bland and it's really just sand
Mm,
dunes. There's not much
yeah,
to do, and it's not like I'm looking at it going, "Boy, this would look prettier on another system." It's more like put more stuff in here because it's
sure.
just empty. I'm sure it could look
Okay,
prettier, but I mean, like, who needs? I don't know, slightly prettier sand ripples. I don't know. Maybe someone does. I think it looks fine, but it certainly is bland, and that is probably the biggest drawback that a lot of reviews I've seen have for it is well, the way it operates is there's an opening prologue section where you get classic Metroid. You get to play a little bit with everything, and then they strip all your powers away because some crazy stuff happens, and you're teleported somewhere. And then you have to slowly work your upgrades back by unlocking new areas and defeating bosses, and you'll start to get new upgrades. Well, now they've got a new set of upgrades, these psychic powers, where you can actually move things around. You can even lay a bomb in when you're in the Metroid Ball mode, and then get out of ball mode and grab it with your hand and throw it. So there's some cool things you can do with these new psychic powers that they give you, which I really like. Um, and so the gameplay is great in my opinion. I think it's as good as it's ever been across all the Metroid Prime games. I love the way that it plays. It does take a little while to get to that hub area. I would say at least a few hours, especially if you do some exploring. And yes, you'll find some doors you can't open yet. But that is actually the Metroid formula. That's why we hear Metroidvania. The idea is that you've got, hey, there's a door that's got a
very
big
true.
red spot in the middle of it, and it'll tell you, you scan it, and it'll tell you, you need a heat weapon to open this. It tells you right away. Like, and you don't have that. So you can't open this. So you're like, all right, I guess I'll come back to this later. So you can see the sand here. It's fine, but it's
Yeah,
very dull. It's just like there's not much to do. There's a few things to
yeah,
break that it either refills your boost meter. Every once in a while you'll get attacked by an enemy like this, or you might find a little oasis. But those green crystals there are the main thing you're trying to collect. And it's actually story related. It's kind of how you get to the end of the game. eventually.
Oh, okay.
So there is a purpose in going from point A to point B and just cracking all the crystals that you see along the way, and it should relatively naturally build you up to what you need, for the final part of the game. But it's a lot of what you're seeing here. The bike feels great. It moves quickly. It's fun. I didn't feel like it took me too long to get across most of that map, so I wasn't like mad about, boy, this is such a waste of time. But I do feel like it's a missed opportunity out in that sandy area. I did find a few optional
Yeah.
little kind of mini dungeons, I guess you could say, that I can explore and get some upgrades. But it does feel undercooked. That part of it does feel a little undercooked. Like, should there be more here? I don't know. Or does this even need to exist? Could you have just created a smaller hub for me, and
Yeah.
sprinkle the crystals throughout these? So with that slight negative, or at least I would say it's mediocre, the dungeon spaces, whether it's these caves or the volcano or that jungle that you saw earlier, they are so incredibly beautiful and well designed. Part of me is like, just put those crystals there and make some of those spaces, motorcycle areas to ride
Yeah.
around in. I
It
don't
does
know.
seem pretty big. Like looking at this, like it
Yeah,
seems large, like
it is if you get out on
space.
foot. On your bike, you move pretty quick and you can get across it pretty quickly.
Okay.
It's not too bad. Um, And as you can see here, you encounter all kinds of unique enemies, and we saw earlier some boss fights. The boss fights are where this game really shines because I think the combat is good. It's pretty fun from enemy to enemy. It's not super difficult either, um, and some of the weapons they give you are pretty cool. But it's the boss fights where it becomes that combo, that classic Metroid combo of using almost like Zelda, using the upgrade you got in that kind of dungeon area
Mhm.
you were exploring, and using that as a key way to defeat the boss. They do a really good job of that. And honestly, it feels the closest to Zelda that a Metroid has felt. And I've seen a lot of people comparing it to that. And I would agree with
Huh.
that. Like if you played Ocarina of Time with the big open Hyrule field, it's not too different from that. You've got the big open desert, and around the different areas, you'll have an entrance into, and it actually
Like on
shoots
the
you in this gigantic.
outskirts.
Yeah, on the outskirts, there's these areas you go and you explore, and then you'll find this big cannon, and it'll launch you really far away to a new spot on the planet, and that could be a
Mm.
totally different biome for you to then explore and yeah, and continue the story. So overall, I think it's beautiful. I think it's super fun. Like I can't wait to keep playing it. I really love the way it plays. Not unlike, you know, I think most of us have these things in some games where it's like, well, that part feels like it was a half baked idea, but it's not enough to bother me. It doesn't
Mhm.
ruin the game. You don't get stuck in it. It's like all that it's done for me is convince me I don't have to spend any time really exploring this desert and finding every nook and cranny because there's so much to find. It's like, no, there's like
Yeah.
nothing here. And anything that is there will show up on your map. So you don't have to me, it's not an open world game. I mean, you could call it that, I guess, because you can sort of go in any order you want, but it really doesn't feel like open world is a
Open
strength
area,
of this.
maybe.
Yeah, yeah, I'm a little more open air. There's a hub and then you got open areas. Yeah, and even those areas are pretty linear
Yeah.
and they have, think Dark Souls or old school Metroid. There's still a lot of like that way is blocked until you get a new power or until you come back the other way from completing a certain part of this level, and then you'll open that door and it's a shortcut and things like that. So open area in a way, yes, but also has that relatively linear Metroid element to it. So yeah, I think it's awesome. I think the motorcycle is really cool. You can do some combat on there, and you can smash things, and you got the ability to shoot. You get a brand new suit that works with it because you can't get it to work until you get this new suit, which you've seen a couple times in these shots. It just looks really slick. It looks really cool. Of
Red
course, you're in
one.
first person, so you don't see it a lot, but
Well,
there are a
she
lot of
has well,
cutscenes.
orangey red, but
Yeah, yeah. It's a really cool look. I like it a lot. And speaking of cutscenes, there are some NPCs. I've met two, I think, so far. I can't remember now. I think I've met two. And see this
what's the
whole
deal
ice
with
area.
this?
Everything looks totally different, but yeah.
There's like a guy that's like this buddy that's like helping you, and everybody was like mad
There's a
about him
couple
or
of them.
something. Yeah.
There's a couple of NPCs that you meet and talk to. I have found them to be, if nothing else, a nice change. I have no problems with them at all. I don't know what the complaints were about
Okay.
them. I don't know. I
Yeah,
feel like we just got
I
a bunch of
know.
grumpy
I
grumps
have
that
no
don't
clue.
like character. Now, here's the
Sure,
thing. Let
of
me just be
course.
fair to Metroid fans. There is an element of you are totally alone in isolation, doing your silent exploring. You're a silent protagonist. No one ever talks to you. You're just there to like get the job done. So I understand that, and you don't want people gabbing at you. So from that perspective, if that's one of the things you loved about Metroid, I could see if that bothers you. But that to me was never something I would have pointed out as I don't know, as a
As a
feature for
negative.
the game. Either way, like I never would point it out as like, oh, what a cool feature that no one ever talks to you and you never talk to anyone. Like I never would have thought about it
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
when it comes to the Metroid games. So I actually kind of right when they first introduced the first character, I thought voice acted pretty well. He was pretty funny and clever, and Samus just doesn't talk. She just gives like very Master Chief style nods and even talks less than him actually. So to me, it
Hmm.
kind of reminded me of Halo side characters where they're the chatty ones and you're pretty brief if saying anything at all, as they're like
Yeah.
sometimes trying to help you or give you your upgrades or whatever, and they're the ones who are talking. So so yeah, I have found so far the NPCs to be fine. They'll radio you every once in a while to kind of give you a reminder of where to head, or hey, I saw that you got that new. I when I unlocked the heat fire, the heat gun. He was like, "I see you got a new heat chip there. Bring it back to me, and I'll get it upgraded for you. Come on back to." And he tells you like where to go, and then he'll say, "Open your map, and you'll
Hmm.
see where I am." So it's like, okay, if you consider that to be too making the game too easy, I guess, but you don't just click fast travel. You still have to make your way back there and fight your way back to where he is. So there's
Oh, is
still a
there
lot
no
of that.
fast travel?
If there is, I haven't found it yet. So
Okay.
so yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Um, but that again is one of those. It's one of those elements of the Metroid games where the idea of exploring and getting through and then unlocking a new way or a shortcut is part of the experience. But now that they've introduced
Yes.
this
Yeah.
hub where you have these smaller areas, I am wondering, and if they don't include it, that'll be something that I will call out as like a miss. If you're going to have any type of open world hub, even if it's not fully open world, you really do need to have something that's a little player friendly in terms of fast traveling or something. Maybe you don't fast travel to the exact point you need, but at least take me to the entrance of the area
Sure.
I want to go to, you know?
Well,
So I
especially
don't know.
if that
Maybe that
sandy
opens up
hub
later.
area doesn't have so much side stuff going on, then it's just like you're
Uh-huh.
literally driving back and forth for not like
Yeah.
just for the sake of driving because there's
Yeah,
no
it has
fast
some
travel.
side
So
stuff,
that
but
would
yeah,
be
not a lot.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm. Totally. But
sense.
as you can see here with these boss fights, it's super epic. I think most people, especially if you're already a Metroid fan, you're going to really enjoy the design, the feel of the gameplay. The boss battles are really fun. The upgrades you get are great. It's a mix of mostly familiar with a few new. Um, but yeah, in my opinion, it's never felt or played better or looked better. Um, yeah, maybe just some design, or I
Nice.
guess the hub area design that I could totally understand and empathize with complaints about it. I just don't feel like it's affecting my experience with it. Maybe by the end, I'll be tired of it. Maybe by the time I've gone over that desert
Yeah.
like 20 times, I'll be like, dude, this desert was a mistake.
Especially
I
if
don't
there's
know.
no fast
Maybe.
travel.
Exactly. If no fast travel any kind unlocks later, I might come back in a couple weeks and be like, all right, I was wrong. The desert sucks. I don't know.
Yeah, you
But
become Anakin. You're like sand, it's
that's right.
everywhere.
That's right. That's right. Um, so anyway, overall, if you can't tell, I love it. I think it's great. I think it's delivering everything I wanted from it. Um, as a major fan of the Metroid series, I've completed all the Metroid Prime games. I love them all, and I'll tell you what, I really want Metroid Prime 2 and 3 on the Switch. Now that they've got these motion controls, because Corruption was built with Wii controls, and part of me thought, I
Hmm.
wonder if the reason they never ported it over is because they didn't want to have to try to figure out a way to remap all the handheld version of Metroid Prime 3.
Yeah.
I feel like they've got it now. I'm like, hey, you've got the whole system right here. And there's a really easy way you can just go into the menu and you swap between the three major control types. And it's really easy. It's really easy to, and you can use mouse control too if you want. I just don't find using the Switch controllers as a mouse for more than a few minutes to be, great.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, all that
Right.
stuff is there, and I think if you're already a Metroid Prime fan, you're gonna have a lot of fun with this game. If you're curious about it and want to give it a try, I think it's a high quality, high production value game, totally worth your money. Switch 2 is the way to go, although I've heard people don't hate the Switch 1 performance. I've heard it's not horrible.
Well, that's
Um,
good.
but if you are just a first person shooter fan and you're like, let me see what they've got to offer, I do think the shooting is fun, but it does not play like a Call of Duty or Halo. It's different. There's this lock on
Yeah.
mechanic. You've got different enemy weaknesses. You need to switch between your different weapons, whether it's missiles or the heat or ice or whatever. So there's just it's different, but it is a shooter in addition to being like an adventure exploration game. Like you are shooting for sure, and the shooting feels good. So
So
anyway,
overall,
yeah.
good, good, like positive stuff to say considering again how long this
Oh
whole
yeah.
thing has been, this journey for this game to exist. Because
Yep.
it seems like the
Yeah. I
scores out there are also pretty solid. Like,
They are. Yep. It's gotten everything. You see on this review here, this Nintendo Life review that I kind of restarted as we kept talking about it. They gave it a 9 out of 10. Places like IGN and GameSpot, I think, gave it like a 8 out of 10. Pretty classic for those guys. They love giving out eights. It's like their 7 and 8s, I think, are their favorite numbers
right.
over there. But I think I do think that an 8 is a fair score. I think if you're a big fan of the series and it's hitting all the notes you want, like I put myself in that category. To me, it's much more of a 9 personally, but I
Okay.
totally understand. I think an 8 is a fair score, and maybe even a 7 if this part really rubs you the wrong way, because there is
Sure.
legitimate criticism about this whole desert experience. Um, I just wouldn't knock it too much because this is not, to me, this isn't a core of the gameplay. The core gameplay is the shooting, the exploring. You do a lot of scanning, puzzle solving. I love all that stuff. Upgrading your powers. Um, I mean, even this, like the way that this looks in this cave, I just think they did a really cool job with the look, the feel, the lighting, all of it. So, yeah, man,
Nice.
I love it. But that's not the only new game that came out this week, Dan. Also out this week, and we'll
What?
watch the review from GameSpot for this one. A little a little game called Octopath Traveler 0. So we're going back to the drawing board. We're going back to the
We're
beginning.
back. Yeah,
That
we're
dropped.
back going back to zero.
We're going back to 0. That dropped this week. Now I did download the demo on the Switch 2. I played it for, let me check, 10 minutes maybe, give or take. I didn't play it for very long. I created my character and like
Give me
did
your
the intro
in-depth
little,
thoughts.
yeah, did like the little intro section, kind of walked around, talked to some people, and then I went back to Metroid because that had my full attention. But tell me what
Yeah.
you think so far. Walk me through a little bit of Octopath Traveler 0. What's it doing right, wrong, all that kind of stuff.
So I'm not, unfortunately, I'm not like super far into it because even like right there in the video review, it showed like some characters behind you because like you can recruit characters and apparently a bunch of characters. Um, but yeah, so this, well, first I want to say I did not realize that this was like a repackaging of the mobile version of Octopath Traveler. I had no idea until just recently. So I don't know if it was just something recently mentioned or if they said it out the gate and I just happened to not catch that. Um,
Hmm.
but when I saw that, I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of weird. But like, it doesn't have all the gotcha stuff, so it's not very mobile gamey. It's an interesting thing. They took a gotcha mobile game RPG and you know repurposed it as an actual RPG. But you do have the custom, like you just said, the create a character in the beginning. So that for me is the first kind of like, ooh, I don't know, because you're a silent protagonist. And I don't necessarily love that concept. I mean, it's fine with
Yeah.
like Zelda because that's just what it's always been and it
Mm-hmm.
works. It's fine. But like Octopath Traveler 1 and especially 2, because I friggin' love 2, those
Two.
characters are
Yeah.
so strong. They're so strong, and the
Yeah.
voice acting is so excellent. So, like, for me to have the main character just be like quiet, like this, so that scene right there, like that scene right before this, that's a very
Mm-hmm.
emotional scene. Something very bad just happened there, and you're a silent protagonist, so you're not saying anything. You just the
Ah,
character's
gotcha.
kind of like shakes a little bit, and like it's pixelated, so you
Mm-hmm.
can't really see the emotion necessarily in the face. It's just the character kind of like shakes, and he or she is obviously very upset.
Which is one of the advantages
But
of
that's
the way that
just
previous games are set up because they have characters that are fully voice acted, they have personalities, and you're playing as them, but you're kind of experiencing their stories. Where in this case,
yes.
you are kind of a blank slate a little bit in a lot of ways, sounds like.
Yeah. Yeah, you're very intrinsically tied into that town there that, spoiler
Uh-huh.
alert, some bad things happened in the town. Uh
Yeah.
some stuff, some very dark like
Shocking.
within the first hour or two, Tim. Yeah, it's actually pretty brutal
So if you
what
play the
happens to that
demo, which is
town.
available on all platforms, I think, you'll get to see what Dan I imagine you'll see the opening
So
sad town part.
it's it's timed. If you get through it like at a nice pace and you're not just kind of like sitting around, then you'll most likely get to this scene here. I actually didn't in the
Yeah.
demo because I was just kind of like hanging around a bit because that's just what I do.
Got it.
So I
Yeah.
didn't get to that in the
You're
demo,
just
but I
staring
did
at the
once I picked
screen.
up the game.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm just and the music. Oh my god, the music, Tim.
Ah,
It's
the
still good.
music. Yeah.
The music is still good, Tim. It's so effing good. Um, but yeah, like when there is voice acting, which pretty much most of the other characters are, it's still good, still solid. Yeah, it's just that's just more of like a nitpick or a preference rather for me. Is like I just the like nothing character where you're just kind of like nodding and whatever is just kind of like it's just weird because
Yeah.
the character's talking to you and you're not hearing the voice respond back. So whatever. But game
I get
looks
it.
great visually. Still looks awesome. The HD 2D
Yep.
is still wonderful. Very charming.
Yep.
Um, the music is still incredible. So the new thing with this one is so the town, as you saw, was on fire. Very terrible. And then
Did not look good.
basically you come back and there's a town building mechanic. So they showed this in the first trailer. You're essentially rebuilding this town. So this character
I
here,
like that.
Stia,
I always like a good
um,
town building mechanic.
exactly. She's like a carpenter. So like she's the main character's friend. So you go back to the town. You're like, oh, we're gonna rebuild it. So you got a town builder. You got a character recruitment element where you're going
Mm.
so throughout the world and you're finding characters.
Hmm.
Very
I was
Suikoden,
just gonna
Tim.
say that.
You're finding these
Hmm.
characters and you're inviting them to your town. You're putting them in
Yes.
buildings.
Yes.
So that's really
And
cool.
they're
That's very
in the
enticing.
combat. Are there like support people too? Looks like.
Yeah, so I actually just got to like the first town outside of like that little village that
Hmm.
burns down. And there's characters that you can like meet in towns and you can recruit them. So like and essentially if you do manage to recruit them because I don't know if it's always going to be you have to pay them to recruit them or like there's different, variables for
Hmm.
recruiting. But yeah, basically they'll help you like X amount of times. Like it shows like how many times they can pop out. And then it like basically your like contract with them, so to speak, expires, and then you'd have to go back and recruit them
Gotcha.
again.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so there's characters that you can basically have kind of like help you, but then there's also characters that you can like recruit onto your like main party there.
Got it.
Um,
Okay.
so
Cool.
there's two elements, there's two different things of like characters going on. There's helpers, and then there's like people that like join you, like actually join you.
Gotcha. Okay.
Which is cool because that's different than the first two. It was like the specific 8 characters, right? Because it's Octopath
Yeah.
Traveler. So
Yep.
um
So in this case,
combat
you
is
have
still
8 in your party potentially if you count the support characters too, right? I
yeah.
mean,
Well,
I
I'm
get it.
wondering
There's
if
the
it's
8
more than
there.
that because how many are there? Is it 8?
I think it's
Couldn't
8. I think you
tell.
have 4 frontline people and then 4 support, it looks like.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right, so you're having all 8 like right there, which is cool.
Yeah, that's
That's
cool.
pretty wild.
Mhm.
Um,
Like it.
combat still is awesome. It's got the whole, like breaking down the shields. Enemies
Yep,
are
find the
weak to
weakness and then
certain
break
what.
them so you can
Yep,
then unleash some damage.
yep.
Mhm.
So if you see right there, it showed it was highlighting Y. So now there's like ultimate techniques you can do,
Oh,
or
yeah, yeah,
right
yeah.
ultimate techniques. So there's like a new little thing added. That's a new element.
Okay.
I haven't fully like explored that yet. I have like my main character has an ultimate technique. Um, so I don't know how that's going to evolve, like how many there'll be, like what the stipulation is. I think my main character just kind of got it because obviously story wise, I think it's pertaining to the certain thing that he obtained, that I won't say because it's tied to the story.
Got it.
Um, but yeah, I mean it's more Octopath. I love it. It feels Octopathy. If that's not a word, neither is Octopath, but uh
Neither is Octopath,
but
right. But we've
neither
accepted
is
it.
Octopath. Yes. But yeah, the charm I think is still here. Again, it's just the way that this is like being delivered is just so different from the first two because the first two just felt so
Mhm.
purposeful. Because again, it's 8 specific characters. They have their stories. Two did a bit of a better job, like weaving things in and out. Like there were like uh, quests that like were 2 characters in the party were like part of. So it just felt
Mhm.
a little more connected. And this feels less connected because of just kind of the open, like you creating your character and you're the silent pro
Yeah,
tag and you're just
I
like
get that.
recruiting random people. So, but
Hmm.
still seems very interesting. I'm still intrigued about like what the overarching story is. These three big bads that we're gonna have to be taking down, and like what their deal is, and some sort of like legend pertaining to rings. There's 8 rings, so maybe that's where like the 8 is also emphasized.
Eight's an
Um,
important
is
number in this
legend,
series.
yeah, 8's very important. But
Hmm.
yeah, music is still wonderful. So like if obviously you enjoyed the music in the first two, you're
I did.
gonna be
So
very
good.
happy with this. Combat is still fun. So yeah, I
Look at
mean,
you building the town on the
I'm
grid. I love
still early.
that. I already
Yes,
like the
yes,
town building. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, dude, I can't wait for that to like when I start fully getting into it.
Yeah,
Because look at this, you're putting trees down. You got the
dude.
paths. You know.
Yeah, and the grid system actually reminds me of playing like old Sim City on the Super Nintendo and stuff back. You know what I mean? Like it just
Yeah,
takes me back to that. I love the grid
it's
setup
very
too.
structured.
I dig it. I dig it.
Because I like things being even, Tim. You know, I can't like put like a
I know.
house
Me
and
too.
then have two empty spots and then a house
Yeah.
and then one empty spot. No, that's
I want everything
insane.
to be
You can't do
flush.
that.
I want it to all be flush up to the street or
Yeah,
whatever. Like I want it to be
yeah,
even. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Exactly, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But yeah,
Yeah, man.
I mean, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. So
Good. Good. I'm glad to
yeah,
hear that with this game. And similarly to Metroid Prime 4, it's getting overall very good reviews. I consider anything that's averaging in the 80s, even low 80s, that to me is averaging at a very good to great kind of range.
yeah.
Which tells me that if you already like the Octopath games and if you like JRPGs, I think you should have no hesitation to scoop this one up and grab it. So,
I think everyone
yeah,
should play all of these games because like
yeah,
I mean, especially like again, I'm gonna forever the rest of my life gush about two because two is like
you love to, yeah,
unbelievable. It's
yeah,
so good. So
yeah.
I don't know if this one's gonna compete with it, but like I am enjoying it. So
Yeah. Yeah. It's more of the good
really just the
stuff with
one
some new
nitpick.
wrinkles thrown in, which is kind of cool. Like
Yeah,
even if it's not exactly like okay, it's not the total package I would want from Octopath 3, maybe. I would imagine you
sure,
expect a little more, but
sure.
that's okay. Like this is still a good uh I don't know, it's a good entry. It's a good I don't know, it's kind of fun to see them experiment a little bit too. Try some new stuff
Yes. Yeah,
with
yeah.
the formula.
Exactly.
So so I dig that
Exactly.
a lot too. But yeah, man, it's pretty exciting. But these aren't the only two games that have come out this week, Dan. There's another one that I have
What?
installed, and I really
Oh
wanted to
yeah.
play it, but I haven't yet. And that is Marvel Cosmic Invasion. This is the Gaming Bolt review here. I know that Kyle
Yeah.
has been playing it, but he is not here to talk to
Okay.
us about it and tell us. But it sounds like he's
We
enjoying
have
it.
no idea.
I think again, generally speaking, based on the critic reviews and user reviews I'm seeing, same thing. It's getting an average in those low 80s, which is very good. And it seems like it's a really
For a
fun
brawler,
multiplayer
yeah.
game.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and it's got this kind of old school arcade aesthetic to it that I think is very appealing to a
Yes.
lot of us.
Yes.
Um,
Absolutely.
so
Absolutely it is. That's my
I'm
boy.
Even
That's my
just
boy.
watching Spider-Man swing around. This just looks awesome. So I played the
It
demo for
does.
this about a month and a half ago, maybe. And I thought, hey, this is exactly what it feels exactly like you're watching Wolverine right now slice up these enemies. It feels exactly how you imagine it should with a beat 'em up brawler like this. Like that, it feels exactly how it should. And then you can swap out to other characters. You can see that Wolverine has kind of his hero back up there. I can't really tell by the icon who that is, but you can swap
It,
out the other person.
she was out a second ago, but I forget that
Okay.
character's name.
And here you've got Captain America. I think that's Black Panther as his backup. So the idea is, of course, you can play multiplayer. So player two can hit start right there. You can see on the top of the screen. But also you have a backup hero. Both, I think it helps in terms of healing, but definitely if you need to do different damage types, some of them do better AOE or whatever. You can swing and you can just call them in for a quick attack, as you saw right there too, and then keep the
Oh, it's
character you're using.
Nova. Okay. Oh, I thought it was a
Nova. Okay.
female. I couldn't. The hair was throwing me off. Yeah, but
Okay.
I like
Gotcha.
it was on the tip
Gotcha.
of my tongue. I couldn't remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a
So,
cool
dude, overall,
roster in
it's
this too.
very, very cool roster. A lot of characters to use. It's a really good time. So I highly recommend it if you're looking for a fun multiplayer beat 'em up brawler. Marvel Cosmic Invasion. Yeah, go check that one out for sure. And I don't want to speak for Kyle, but I do believe he also thinks it is great and probably recommends it. I would imagine. I did
Yeah.
like Captain America's shield in this part because you actually can use it, the shield, both offensively but also really helpfully defensively as well. Although this whoever's playing this review was not doing so, but anyway, you can use it to block
like
things like those flamethrowers. But
like Storm is in there, which is so cool. You got like
uh-huh,
Dark Phoenix,
yep,
Rocket Raccoon.
yep,
Like yeah, it's a cool mixture of characters that they went with. I think it's really cool.
it is, and it's like super colorful. The design is great. Yeah,
Mhm.
I really dig it a lot. So
Jeez.
let's go through a couple other games that are out real quick this week that might be worth taking a quick look at. One is a Vampire Survivor like called Night Swarm, which is also vampire in its theme, but I do believe there's more to it in terms of it's got more of a roguelike approach than Vampire Survivors does. Vampire Survivors put you on a map for 30 minutes and it's like survive as long as you can. This one looks like it's more kind of areas that you clear and then you pick a path forward like you would in a lot of roguelikes that are out there. And then you upgrade as you go. But I do believe you're doing some castle rebuilding too in this, if I remember correctly. You're trying to rebuild Dracula's castle
Okay.
or something like that. So it has a little bit more of the modern aesthetic too, compared to Vampire Survivors, which was very pixelated, which I was appealing to me. That kind of 8-bit, 16-bit look
Yeah.
of that one. This one has a little more of a modern style to it, and even in the menus and stuff, everything about it has a little more of a modern look. It almost looks like tabletop the way the enemies come at you. They kind of have like little
A little
stands that
bit,
they're
yeah.
on. Yeah, so it's interesting. Um, but yeah, if you like these kinds of Vampire Survivor games, this is an interesting one to take a look at because, as you can see here, with the way you can upgrade your castle and your keep, whatever you want to call it, as you go, as you do complete runs and unlock new things. Um, so yeah, Night Swarm I think looks really cool. I'm excited to try this one out. It's out now on Steam. I think there's plans for it to go elsewhere, but for right now, it's just on Steam. So there you go. There's Night Swarm. Uh, Speaking of cozy builders, this one's called Flotsam. It's been in early access for a
Okay.
while. It's got this really unique cell shaded style. But of course, the idea with
Yeah.
Flotsam being that everything's floating, right? It's like floating junk that you're then turning into your society, your town, everything from farms to habitats to businesses, whatever, and you're expanding. Think
It's
like
Waterworld.
Waterworld. Yeah, exactly.
It's
Exactly.
Waterworld Simulator.
That's right. So yeah, it's got a really like light-hearted, cozy vibe to it, but still, as you can see here with these different trees, it seems to have enough complexity there. If you like a good complex city builder element,
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be to the depth of some of the games that are out there, but it's just a unique take on this and a unique look as
Oh.
well. So yeah, Flotsam is the name of this one, and it's been in early access. It is now in 1.0. So you can go give that a look on PC. All right. This is one. This one's special for Kyle. Kyle, if you happen to watch this one's for you, buddy. Back in the day, there was an excellent RPG that launched from the creators of City of Heroes and City of Villains, one of my and I think Kyle's favorite MMOs of all time with the superheroes.
Hmm.
And then they released this fantasy-based one called Guild Wars, which was super cool and it had great aesthetic, great combat. I thought the combat was really, really fun. And then they released Guild Wars 2, which is more of a free to play model, which I played for a little bit, but by then I was pivoting away from MMOs and it just didn't appeal to me as much.
Yeah.
So Guild Wars 2 didn't do it for me. I know a lot of people like it, but Guild Wars 1, I spent a lot of time playing and they just released, I didn't know this was even happening, but Guild Wars Reforged, where for $20 you can
That's
get
cool.
access to the entire, like all the DLC, all the updates they added, and as you saw there, there's no subscription. You just buy it for $20, you have all of it, and you can play the full
Yeah.
MMO.
Of
Which, if you've ever played an MMO, Dan, you've played Final Fantasy 14. The amount of content in these
course.
games, I don't think it can be overstated. Like, there's so much
Oh yeah.
content
It's
in these games.
it's like you just play that one game if that's what you want to. You
Right.
just that's what you play. You know.
That's the game. So I think this is absolutely worth it, whether you are a fan of the old one or not. But if you can, you might not like the visual style. Some people might think it looks too old. Totally get that. But if you've got any kind of appreciation for that style and really want a solid MMO and you get all this content, no subscription required. You can do a lot of it solo, not all of it, like most MMOs, but a lot of it. And I highly recommend it, man. $20 for all of that. That's pretty
Yeah.
amazing. So So yeah,
I
that's
remember
really
this
cool that they
one.
launched
I
this.
never played it, but I remember people
Yeah,
being obsessed with Guild Wars. Like that was one of
yeah,
the big ones. Like not quite
it
World of
was.
Warcraft big, but like pretty big.
Yeah,
So
it was one of the ones that made the first big splash because World of Warcraft kind of stepped in and took over EverQuest 2, which I really enjoyed that one. But EverQuest 2 just
mm,
got overwhelmed by World of Warcraft. And anyone else who wanted in that genre needed to find a different setting in order to compete with World of Warcraft. But Guild
sure.
Wars was the first one that was also fantasy based that I thought really dealt some solid punches to the World of Warcraft numbers. It was like, man, people love Guild Wars. This game is
Hmm.
good. So,
Yeah.
so I'm probably gonna grab it to go back and have some nostalgia. But again, it's an MMO, so it does a lot of grinding, fetch quests, all those kind of things.
Yeah.
But for some people, me included, I don't mind that stuff because that to me is what these games are. So I have no problem with that.
Yeah. Exactly.
But anyway, Guild Wars Reforged out now. Go check that out, and it runs well on Steam Deck too, from what I've heard. I mentioned this game a couple months ago that I played the demo for called Kingdom of Night, and it is out now if you want to give it a try. It's this isometric RPG with very strong kind of 80s horror flair to it, with, demon portaling into your town and monsters taking over, and high
Stranger
school
Things.
characters and neighborhood characters. And yeah, so and you level things up. Of course, it's very RPG centric. I don't think the combat is all
Mm,
that great. It doesn't feel amazing. I felt like it was really hard to
yeah.
avoid damage, and I don't know if maybe you just need to level up and get a better dodge or block or something. I'm not sure, or I just need to get better at how the game controls. I don't know what it is. So I didn't think it felt amazing, the combat, but everything else about it was really good. I liked the dialogue. I liked the skill tree stuff, the weapons that you get. I thought it had a good amount of that kind of Stranger Things vibe to it, which I really
Okay.
appreciated. While also being its own thing, it did not feel like a ripoff by any stretch. It's definitely its own thing. So, Kingdom of Night, I highly recommend it. I think it is very worth a look. I believe it's on everything, but definitely on PC. So check there first. I thought it was coming to everything,
Yeah.
but I could be wrong about that.
See you later.
So Kingdom of Night, really cool, and even the art style here on this cover, it looks like an old Hardy Boys
Yeah.
comic or
It
novel or
does.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I love that.
They know what they're doing.
Cool design. All right, Dan, there's a game coming out called Cloudheim. So just imagine what
Oh.
they're trying to
Oh.
to be like.
Oh.
So, but it is in early access. Um,
Okay.
it's got a very different aesthetic, of course, than something like Valheim, and it's
Oh, look at
very
that
kind of
combat.
action. It's more action combat, of course, and I don't think it
Okay.
has the same build focus that Valheim does. I actually don't know if
Uh,
they give you. I haven't tried that yet, but
I'm
there's a
out.
demo for it, so I'm gonna try
Uh,
it. But part of me likes the idea of this survival action RPG that's more focused on combat and then less. It looks like you're building a shop, maybe not even your own house. I'm not sure exactly how the building works. I know crafting is a big part of it. I
sure.
just don't know if you're like building shelter and stuff, which of course was one of the coolest things about Valheim. Um, but Cloudheim is out now. I do
Exactly.
like the art style of it. The kind of that anime cell shaded art
Yeah.
style does look pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. It does look nice.
Yeah.
Give me some
So
building, Tim. Give me the building.
I know. I need the building. All right. Last but not least, out this week. I thought it was worth noting just because it sounds like Ubisoft has done an incredible job on this port of Assassin's Creed Shadows hitting the Switch 2. Obviously, if you have a PS5, PC, or a Series X, that game, in my opinion, I love this game. I think it deserves to be played on the most powerful system you've got available to you. So that's where I would get it. You're also probably going to find it cheaper there. That being, and I played some of it on the Steam Deck too because I got it on Steam, and I thought it was great. But
Hmm.
I prefer it on a nice screen with controller in hand. That's my preference. That being said, this is not a horrible way to play it, and by all accounts, it is also getting a lot of like that 8 out of 10 type reviews from folks across the board. That it runs smoothly. Generally speaking, it looks
Okay.
pretty good. It's definitely taken a hit compared to the other versions, just in terms of the level of detail. Some of the animations are
Yeah.
simpler. But to me, this is one of the prettiest games of the year. So I've got no issues with them needing to downgrade some of that stuff to make it work on a handheld. That to me, I would expect they have to do that. So,
Yeah. Exactly.
but I just wanted to highlight it because I love this game. You played this game too, right? Didn't you finish this game?
Oh yeah. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
It
really
did.
good game.
It did finish.
So anyway, but all of this makes me want to do is go play it more on Steam on my PC because I do. It's one of the prettiest games of the year, and it's super fun. Um, I suppose if it ever really dropped in price, I could see myself justifying, hey, I want to just support it on Switch. So Ubisoft puts more stuff on the Switch, their AAA stuff. But I just don't see why I would spend a lot of time playing it there when I've got the best version.
Yeah, it's not a
You know,
short game, so
it's not a
it's
short
not a
game.
short game.
It is not. So, but yeah, even this kind of stuff, I'm like, all right, Switch 2. I see you. That looks pretty good. It's not bad.
I mean, the
Not bad at
environmental
all.
stuff in this with the seasons changing was very pretty. So
Oh, so good. Yeah, so good. So anyway, well, Dan, I think that is it for our. We'll go back to the fireplace because I think that's it for our like new games that are out this week. So let's
good.
this way.
Good.
Dang it, it's this way. Okay, over
Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah.
No,
Oh no,
I was
see,
right. It
you
was
had
this
it
way.
right the other time.
I had it right. I had it right. All right, so I'm just gonna keep warming
There
up.
you go.
All right, feels pretty good. Thanks for the gifts that you got for me there. I see that. I appreciate you.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm a very giving person.
you're a good man. All right, so two quick pieces of news that I wanted to highlight. There probably are more things, more headlines that I missed this week. The week before was pretty slow too. But to me, there's two. I'll do this one first, just because I do have a video of it. Let me go back to this one and go to the next thing. Do you remember the game that was announced? I think it was announced at PlayStation's State of Play
Yeah,
called Romeo is a Dead
yeah, I
Man.
remember this one. Yep,
Okay.
Because the
This
aesthetic
is
of
from
this is so cool.
Grasshopper. Yeah, this is from the Grasshopper team who did like No More Heroes, I think, and I forget what the other games they
Hmm.
did were. Um, I mean, just bizarre, wild, wacky. But they had a 2026 release date, so most of us kind of thought like, yeah, maybe, and maybe it'll get delayed. Who knows? But it has an actual release
Yeah,
date now of February 11th.
nice,
So Grasshopper is going to be
nice.
self-publishing this, but don't forget they are actually owned by NetEase. So it's kind of interesting. They're self-publishing, but NetEase owns
Okay,
them. So it's interesting. Um, but they
yeah.
describe it as a No More Heroes Studios' bloodiest action game yet. It's a third-person sci-fi action adventure where the player can switch between melee attacks, like No More Heroes games, and gun-based combat, like Shadows of the Damned. So it got a cool
This
look
game
to it.
looks so
I got to
weird.
be honest. It looks so weird.
It does. It looks so weird, but like so
Yeah.
awesome. Like
Yeah. Yeah. Weird and honestly kind of like the best way. Like really odd.
yes,
Like why is this celebrating? Like I don't know.
a
I don't understand. I don't understand most
a
of what
good
we're
kind of weird.
saying. But yeah.
Yeah, no, no clue, no clue. Well, I mean, as a
No
Gundam
clue.
right there, right? Basically.
That's right. Yeah. But Romeo's Dead Man's coming out February 11th and I believe it's hitting all major platforms. So you can go check that one. I think there was an article too about them trying to get on Switch too. I think, but I can't remember if it's confirmed or not. But definitely PlayStation, Xbox, PC. It would make sense for them to be on Nintendo because I think that's where they've thrived in the past. Like, wasn't No More Heroes like a
The
Wii thing?
no more heroes. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, all right. This other piece of news. This one's interesting, Dan. And I know that we're mostly
Oof.
gaming in our chats, but this one kind of, I don't know. It straddles that line between gaming but also broader entertainment. So Netflix. And don't forget, Netflix is the company that was on the verge of losing to Blockbuster and selling because Blockbuster kind of had them. Like,
Sure.
that's how close they were to not being around. It could have just been a flash in the pan that people don't remember. But of course, now they're one of the biggest companies in the world. They've agreed to a deal. I think approval is still pending, last I checked, to acquire the film and streaming business of Warner Brothers Discovery, which includes its video game arm. So there were weeks of bidding from other companies like Comcast and Paramount Skydance. And it sounds like this deal was finally agreed upon that's going to be worth $82.7 billion in enterprise value.
Oof.
That's a lot of cheddar. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
So
That's a lot of money. Good lord, that's a lot of money.
when it comes to it is. When it comes to the video game side of things, just keep in mind, like I'm glad I saw this because I was like, I forgot that NetherRealm was part of that team, which is why they have, Mortal
Yeah,
Kombat.
yeah.
Of course, we know about Harry Potter, the DC universe. I'd kind of forgotten about Game of Thrones as well. The Lego games with TT
Yeah.
Studios. So we've got the Batman Arkham games with Rocksteady, Avalanche, who did Hogwarts Legacy. Some pretty major. franchises, and some of them that I really, really like. So I don't know. It's interesting. We know that the U.S. regulator is likely to get involved. It might have already by the time this is airing. Um, so I, in this day and age, with after Microsoft acquired Activision, I feel like no deals off the table anymore. But I could be
Right.
wrong.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think that precedent really did have bigger ripple effects. I think we might have said that when that deal went through. We might have said like this deal is one thing, but I feel like other pieces are going to fall, dominoes are going to fall in the future.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. Maybe this one gets shut down. Maybe I just feel like it's going to happen. And on the entertainment side, the idea of not needing to subscribe to HBO to watch all their amazing shows and movies and just have it on Netflix. I don't know if that'll be the case. If it's going to be an add-on or a premium feature that's going to be part of Netflix now, I don't know.
Netflix is going to go up in price. That's the
The,
case.
so either their overall price will increase, or they're going to introduce some new tiered system where they still keep the HBO
Mm,
brand or something. I could see that being a
sure.
possibility too. Um, almost like Prime, where you can subscribe to sub services underneath their platform, and you can just kind of watch
Sure.
everything on
Sure.
Prime, but you can just subscribe to Showtime or Paramount or whatever from Prime.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so
Oh
anyway,
man.
I don't know. I generally speaking, I think all of us on the podcast, we all kind of cringe and are hesitant to be excited about huge acquisitions. Everything kind of
Sure.
combining under one umbrella. On the other hand,
Well, some big names in the movie industry are like already like,
I know,
no, no, absolutely not. Like, this is a bad
I
idea.
know,
Like, and it's
I
like
know. So that
understandable
part,
because obviously their model
yeah,
is different than the movie theater, like, like all of that
hmm
stuff. It makes sense,
right. Yeah, that part, I am curious to see how it plays out. I know that our entertainment world is changing rapidly as technology changes and the way we consume things changes. And so sometimes changes like this are inevitable. I just don't know if, I don't know. I'm trying to see the positive in it just as a consumer outside of like what this could mean for economy and whatever else. If we think this is a good precedent to continue, that's a separate conversation. I don't really know. I'm not a finance expert, so I don't really know. um,
Yeah.
or a business expert for that matter. But as a consumer, I'm like, okay, if this means I get access to more content for something I already pay for, that part of it selfishly is like, all right, that sounds okay. Uh, but my other concern really is Netflix has a really bad track record with what they've done with video game stuff. When they've built up these studios, got things rolling, and then they've gotten rid of those studios or the people there. And I know they still offer some gaming like on their app, which is awkward. You have to kind of download it separately to play. I don't know how that all works. I haven't
Yeah.
really tried it.
See,
Um, but yeah, the gaming
for
part makes me
for
nervous
me,
because there's a lot of franchises here that are really
okay.
important.
I mean, I feel like just typical business, suit mumbo jumbo. Like they're gonna be like, all right, well, what makes the most money, and then anything else that's like below some threshold, they're gonna be like, see you later. Like, you know what I mean? Like that
Yeah,
seems like probably
could
obviously what
be.
would happen. But for me, like as far as like media, like or movies and shows and all that, like
Yeah.
I think the fear, especially people in the movie industry, um, is like because Netflix just like has so much stuff on their platform, so much stuff, and
hmm
like they cancel things left and right, like so it's
They
like
do.
is the quality of like the movies and stuff going to go anything that's new that would funnel through now Netflix after the fact, like what's the quality going to be? Is it going to be good? Are they going to, because I think they've already said like kind of like, yeah, like we'll release the movie still in theaters, but like, shorter windows or something that's
Yep.
like I don't know, like so I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Same.
Less is more
Part of me
sometimes,
wonders
Tim.
too.
Less is more. You know?
Less is more. I agree with you. I wonder too. Like, will anything change? Like, does this change the trajectory of where the entertainment business and movies and theaters were going already with all the streaming options? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe it
Mm,
does. I just think the idea of putting it all under one company is always, I don't know. Anytime you get create a monopoly or even a perceived monopoly or something that approaches it, I just think that's not great. But what's been interesting is to
yeah,
watch a
no,
company like Microsoft, the way they've been. I mean, they've acquired. Like, if you would have told us 20 years ago all the companies they would now own, we'd be like, oh, so Microsoft wins. They take over, right? They totally. And it's like, no,
sure,
they're in a weird spot right now. We don't know what's going to happen
yeah,
with
yeah.
Microsoft and gaming. So I don't
Well, that's
know
also
if
bad
this is
management, right?
it's bad management. Yes. Yep. Expectation settings. So this is a weird one, man. I want to stay positive about it because we like to stay positive here, but there's an alarm going off in the back of my head. Like, this probably isn't a good thing
Yeah.
overall. Like, we want more
Yeah. No.
competition. We want these companies and these creators, especially as selfish as a gamer, these video game companies, to stay as free to create what they want to create as possible without another layer of overlord telling them what to do.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
not all of them are going to have that kind of fairy tale ending like Hi-Fi Rush, which had this tragic, you guys are out of here, you're done, and then picked up by someone else, and now they can continue. And oh, yay, we get more Hi-Fi
Yeah.
Rush or something like it in the future. Most of those stories we know don't turn out that way, you know?
Yeah. No, they don't.
So anyway, I
They don't
hope
do.
I just selfishly still I want a new Hogwarts Legacy game. I'd love to see them dive more into the Game of Thrones IP to make some legitimately good games within that world. And I want to see a new Batman Arkham series game from Rocksteady, like a real one, a legit one, or reboot it. I don't care. Do something. Do more Batman stuff, Rocksteady.
Yeah.
So I want to see that stuff, and I hope Netflix is the right owner to oversee all that, or at least let them have the freedom to create. If they're coming in like, hey, we need you to make mobile games, it's like, all right, we're screwed. This sucks. I don't want this. You know? Yeah.
Yeah. None of that. We don't need any of that. Please no.
No, we don't. Yeah.
Stop
The
the
next Hogwarts
madness.
game is Hogwarts Gotcha. That's what it's called. And it's just
Yeah.
complete mobile. Yeah. Yeah.
Tim, you're
Anyway.
gonna just make it come to fruition. You're just gonna, you're
I should
planting
stop speaking
seeds.
it into existence. You're right.
Yeah.
That's my
The
bad.
Netflix CEO obviously listens to us. He listens to the show,
Yeah.
and now you're planting seeds.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
I don't even know his name or her name, or their
Oh,
name.
I've read it somewhere before, but I don't care enough to look it up now. It's a name. It's a rich white guy. That's all we can. That's all you need to
It's a
know.
person. Just some
Yeah, that's all we
guy,
need to know. Yeah, just a dude. All right. So Dan, let's talk about the Game Awards, which are airing this coming week. We've got some predictions that we're gonna make. We're gonna pick what we think will win for some of the main categories. We already got our buddy Jeff to fill his out, so we'll see that in a second when I pull up the chart. We're also going to fill in what ChatGPT thinks, and then you and I will fill ours in, and then we'll get Kyle to
Sure.
do his, and then we'll score it all after the event airs later this week. But just as a reminder for some folks, the way we do this is we just put it all in a spreadsheet, and with the nominee predictions, we each pick 3, and then you get a point for each one that was correct, because there's usually anywhere between 5 to, I think in some cases even 7, but 5 or 6 usually nominees. In this case, of course, there's only one winner. So we're just picking one winner. You don't get to hedge your bets by picking 2, and it could be this one or this one. You got to pick one for each of the main categories. And I'll also, you know what, I'm going to pull up the categories too on this other side just so I remember who's actually nominated. So let me pull that up.
I was gonna say
well.
I don't have any. I don't remember at all. Well, some of them I remember. I know Expedition 33 is in a few of them, but
yes, for sure.
he's
For
in
sure.
there.
So let me pull this over here and replace our fireplace for a second. Here's on the Game Awards website, you can see a lot of the nominees, and we usually skip the, content creator, esports stuff. I think we skipped most anticipated too, although maybe it's on here. But anyway, so we'll go through some of these and we'll look at the nominees, and then we'll make our predictions, and then I'll let you know what ChatGPT thinks, because they put together a chart. I just asked it to put together a chart of your predictions for the 2025 Game Awards, and it turned out some picks. So we'll look at those as well. So let me pull up the prediction chart here. Here we go. So you can see Jeff's right here. So no spoiler. Oh, there is best adaptation and most anticipated. So we'll pick those two. So I think we should start at the bottom and work our way up. We'll do Game of the Year last. Dan, what do you think about that?
Started at the bottom. We're here.
So what I'll do is I'm just going to move this right beside yours so you and me don't have to. And I'll do the same thing to ChatGPT. Sure. You can see just to review some of Jeff's. I mean, he made Claire Obscure and Death Stranding pretty regular picks. I think Claire Obscure, he has winning a bunch. Death Stranding winning a couple as well, of course. With Claire Obscure taking home best game, Death Stranding best game direction, and so on. So yeah, he's got some strong picks in there, and so we'll see what me and Dan and ChatGPT think as well. So let's start here at the bottom. Best adaptation. Let's see what the nominees are here. Best adaptation. We've got Minecraft movie, Devil May Cry. And by the way, this is some kind of, oh, it's going to show my votes. I better get rid of these. How do I get out of here? Let me log out.
We know how
I
Tim
see Tim
voted.
Nestor there.
Null and
There we go.
void.
Well, you know that
Null
I
and
picked
void.
Splinter Cell because that's the only one I've even watched a little bit of this year. To be
Sure.
honest with you, I never
Sure.
watched season 2 of Last of Us, and I never watched the other movies. So you know my pick already is Splinter Cell for best adaptation. So I'll just go ahead and add that to the list. Dan, what do you think is going to win best adaptation?
I feel like it'll be Minecraft, but I'm gonna go with Devil May Cry. This is when I go with my heart a bunch because really like this is just for fun. So I'm gonna shoot from the hip and use my heart, Tim.
I
Yeah.
like it. I say use your heart, and it always pays off, Dan. You win these all the time. So
Right. Just like in Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, I do it all the time. In my heart, I win them. So
yeah, that's right.
in my heart.
That's right.
Because
All
that's
right.
all
So
that
now that
matters.
we've signed me out. You saw that I actually just did that the other day when I was kind of looking through here to see what I might pick, and I did do the vote casting,
Okay.
which I recommend people go in and cast your vote. It's kind of fun to pick uh, your own choices for these. All right. So let's go to most anticipated game next. And these are games that have not released yet. So this is
Mhm.
007 First Light, Grand Theft Auto 6, Marvel's Wolverine, Resident Evil Requiem, or The Witcher 4. Now, my personal pick for my most anticipated, it's not an easy pick, by the way. I'm pumped to see the Hitman devs
Yeah,
make
no,
a
it's not.
007 game. I have loved the last two Resident Evils more than I thought I would. I'm not a big Resident Evil fan, and 7 and 8, I just loved those games. So I am excited for both of those. But for me, it's really about Wolverine, GTA, and Witcher 4. Those are the three that are really competing for me. Um, Probably GTA 6 with Witcher 4 kind of at a dead heat. Just that's what I'm anticipating. As far as what
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, yeah.
will win, I just don't think I think it's GTA 6. I don't think it's close, but that's just what I think will
I know
win.
I was just
What do you
saying I'm
think?
gonna shoot from the hip and go with my heart, but GTA 6 is the answer.
It's got to be.
It's GTA 6. It has to be. If it's not, I will be legitimately dumbfounded.
Yeah. Now, I won't be mad if it's like
It's
Witcher
ridiculous.
4 or what. I mean, oh, cool.
Right,
People are
right.
pumped for other stuff, but I just,
Yeah,
I don't think so, man. Yeah. All right, Dan, let's look at best debut indie. I think that was up here.
sure.
Here it is. Best debut indie game. Now, we had one pull out because they said, hey, we actually have created games before under
Oh
different
yeah.
names, so don't include us. So there's only 4 nominees here: Blueprints, Claire Obscure Expedition 33, Despeloti, Despelote, or Dispatch. So Dan, what do you think will win? Not what would you pick, but what do you think will win? Best debut indie.
I'll go with Dispatch. Give it to I haven't actually finished it yet, but Dispatch is great. They deserve
You
it.
got to finish it. It's so good. That's the one that I
Yeah.
picked for me. That's the one that I think is the best debut indie. But I agree with Jeff here. I think Claire Obscure is gonna win it. Um, it's kind of feels unfair that it's even in there, but that's for a different day. We can discuss whether or not it should have been included. All right, best
Sure.
multiplayer game. We've got Arc Raiders, Battlefield 6, Elden Ring, Night Rain, Peak, or Split Fiction. All right, so I'll pick first. I kind of go back and forth on this one a little bit, but I'm gonna go with Arc Raiders on this one.
Yeah.
What do you think, Dan?
I was
Jeff
gonna say
picked
it's either
Split
that
Fiction.
or yeah, I was gonna say it's either Arc Raiders or Night Rain. But I'm
Okay.
going with Arc Raiders because that just seems
Okay.
huge. Just came out of
Yeah,
nowhere.
it really kind of took the world by storm, didn't it? I mean, it just kind of took over for a little while there. I think it still is really popular.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, yeah.
all right, best sports slash racing game. We've got soccer of some kind, football. We've got F1, Mario Kart World Rematch, and Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. Dan, what do you think is going to win best sports or racing game?
Go with the Mario Kart.
Yeah,
It's gotta
that's what
get
I'm thinking.
it that love because it's not in any other category, I don't think, right? Maybe
I don't think it
family?
is.
Maybe.
Maybe. And again, another amazing addition to the Mario Kart franchise. It wasn't the same impact as 8, I don't think. It was good. It's really fun. I really like it. But 8 just had something special. I don't know how to describe it. The re-release especially had something special. All right, let's
Yeah.
go to best sim slash strategy game. We have Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles. We have Jurassic World Evolution 3, Civilization 7, Tempest Rising, The Altars, and Two Point Museum getting a nomination for the Game Awards. My turn to pick first this time. I'm going to go with The Alters on this one. What do you think, Dan? Oh, Jeff agrees with me. I'm trying not to look at his ahead of time. Let me zoom in so we can. There we go. I'm going to go with The
Um,
Alters.
I think we know which one I'm gonna go with, but I do think
I
it's a
think we
little
do.
weird that it's in there because I mean it's a remaster of a game that came out over 20 years ago. It's a
Yeah,
little
but there
odd.
are. Keep in mind, there's
Um,
not really any set rules outside of it has to release before this
sure,
date. So they don't have a
sure.
lot of hard and fast
Well,
rules.
Final Fantasy Tactics it is, Tim.
You got it. It's gonna take me about
That
5 minutes
game
to
is
type this in, though.
pretty awesome. Yeah, you just do tactics.
So it's.
You don't have to type the
I'll
whole
just leave
thing.
it at that. All right, I'm just
Like,
gonna do that. I won't.
yeah,
I
you
won't do the whole deal.
don't
Okay.
have to put the Evilise Chronicles. It's just a mouthful.
Yeah. Who won't? No one does that. All right. Best family game is Donkey Kong
Oh, there it
Bonanza,
is.
Lego Party, Lego Voyagers, Mario Kart World, Sonic Racing Crossworlds, or Split Fiction. I think Dan, you got to pick first this time. What do you think's gonna win best family game?
Banana. It's
Yeah.
got to be Donkey Kong. Gotta be Donkey Kong. So good. That's
Yeah.
another.
That's
I
my
need to
pick
also
too.
finish that. I also
I
need to
think that
finish
might
that
be
game.
its only chance to kind of get a win this year, to be honest with you. So I think it's gonna win.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Gosh, best fighting game. This year is such a weird year. You pointed that out when we talked last week about like collections being featured on here. It's very strange.
Yeah.
I
It's
have
just.
I just have no idea. So I'm just gonna go based on the fact that this is Riot Games and I love the Arcane series. So I'm gonna go with
Oh, sure.
2XKO.
Sure.
I have no idea if it might be a crappy game. I do not know. I apologize if it is, everybody. But I like the Arcane League of Legends lore. Even though I don't like League of Legends, I like their show and their spin-off games. So that's the one I pick. What do you think?
I'll go with the Mortal Kombat collection because like more combat. I'm
The
just gonna go with
collection
that
wins
one.
this. Isn't it collection with a K? I'm pretty sure it is.
Gotta
Legacy
be. There you go.
collection. Yeah. All right, let's see what Jeff picked for those last two. He picked Capcom Collection and DK Bonanza for Family Game. All right, Dan, we're getting into some more contentious categories here. Let's get into Best RPG. Let me find that one. Here we go. Avowed, Clair Obscur, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Monster Hunter Wilds, or The Outer Worlds 2. This is a tougher one, I think. But what do you think is going to win? Not what would you pick,
Just the
but what do
five,
you
right? There
think is
isn't a
going to
sixth.
win? Yes, just these five.
I feel like it has to be Clair Obscur.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, like best role playing, so best RPG. The most RPG there is Clair Obscur. So,
Mm-hmm.
in my
Yeah,
opinion,
it's a tough one. It's a tough one. I feel like it depends on how the voters decide to think about this. If you keep it really
sure.
simple and don't overthink it, I think you're right. Clair Obscur would win it. If you go really deep into, well, which actually allowed you to do the most role playing, probably Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 would be a lot of people's pick for this.
Yeah, yeah,
But I agree with you. I do think Clair Obscur is going to clean up pretty much every category it's in, most of them at least.
yeah.
All right. Let's go to Best Action Adventure. We have Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yote. We have Hollow Knight, Silksong, Indiana Jones. All right. And then Split Fiction. Those are our 5 nominees. I got to pick first this time. Oh, wait. Yeah. You picked first last time. So I got to pick first this time. Ooh, this is a tough one. I think. Man, I'm really split on this one. I'm gonna go with Hollow
You
Knight
split
Silksong.
fiction.
I'm gonna go Hollow Knight. Yeah, I'm gonna go Hollow Knight 6. It's between that and Death Stranding 2. That's where I was struggling to pick. For me, what do you think?
Yeah. I actually feel bad for Split Fiction because like that studio they do some fun unique co-op stuff and I feel like
It's a
any other year
great game. Yeah, yeah,
yeah
it's
but
such a
like
good game.
lots of other stuff came out this year so I kind of feel like it
That's
might
right,
not get the love it deserves.
for sure.
But I'm gonna go Death Stranding 2.
Death Stranding 2.
That game is pretty bananas. Game is a
On the
madman.
beach. All right, let's get over to action game, which Dan, that even though we talked about it last week, no one listened to us, and they still have first-person shooters on here. So
They never
Battlefield
listen.
6, Doom the Dark Ages, Hades 2, Ninja Gaiden 4, and Shinobi Art of Vengeance. You got to pick first this time. What do you think will win best action game?
Going with my heart, Tim, and because I saw someone play all the way through and it's awesome and the soundtrack is amazing, Ninja Gaiden 4. That game is
Ninja Gaiden 4.
just insane. Absolutely insane.
Well, I
Deserves
think
it.
Hades 2 is going to win this one. Even if it's not the
Probably.
best action gameplay of the year, I just think it's
Sure.
going to win this category. All right, let's make a quick pick for VR AR, even though neither one of us are really VR AR gamers. Let's just see what do we think will win. Alien Rogue Incursion, Arkham Age, Ghost Town, Deadpool, or The Midnight Walk. Dan, I'm going to say The Midnight Walk just because I remember when it came out, there was some hullabaloo about it, how good it was. So I'm just going to say The Midnight Walk. I have no idea if what will win, but
Yeah,
that's
it
my
has that
guess.
it has that Tim Burton-y look to it.
Yes, it
Uh
does. Yeah.
the stop animation. So I go with the Midnight Walk as well.
All right, nice. All right, let's catch up with what Jeff has picked so far. He picked Death Stranding 2 for action adventure. He picked Kingdom Come for RPG, Hades 2 for action,
Okay.
and The Midnight Walk for VR. All right, innovation and accessibility. We're just making this pick just so we can. It's really just for points because I don't think any of us have deep thoughts or opinions on this. I'm glad that
Well,
games
I
have
also don't know
accessibility.
enough.
We don't know
Yeah.
enough. I'm glad games have them. I'm never criticizing them for adding accessibility features. I just don't know a lot about them.
Yeah.
Um, I'm just going to quickly between Assassin's Creed Shadows, Atomfall, Doom, uh, EA Sports Football Club, and South of Midnight. I'm going to say Shadows just because I remember there being a million options that you could do in that game to
Mm.
customize the experience, and Ubisoft's always been pretty good about that. So I'm going to pick AC Shadows for that. But what do you think, Dan, is going to win best accessibility, innovation, and accessibility?
Yeah, I was gonna lean that way too because I thought I remember people saying like, yeah, they did a good job with that. So
Yeah. Okay. All right. We're on to best community support. This is transparency, responsiveness, social media activity, game updates, patches, those kind of things. So communication, basically, community support. Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, or No Man's Sky. Dan, which one takes home the trophy?
want to vote with my heart with this one, but I feel like every time I do, it just doesn't win, Tim. It just doesn't win.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like Baldur's Gate 3 is the right answer. They have done a great job the entire time talking about that game and need to do it.
I am going to say, you know what? I'm just going to say the same thing. Baldur's Gate 3.
I was stuck between that and No Man's Sky. It was either one of those.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's jump up to ongoing game. I know it's a few rows above just because our mind's already in this space because they're kind of similar.
Mm.
So best
Yeah,
ongoing
yeah,
game
yeah.
is Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Helldivers 2. The only change out is Marvel Rivals here instead of Baldur's Gate 3 and No Man's Sky. So my pick for best ongoing game is No Man's Sky. I don't know if it'll win, but it's my personal pick and the one that I don't know if there's a surefire winner in this, but maybe. Oh, whoops, I put that in the wrong one. Hang on. That's going to go under best ongoing. There we go. Dan, what do you think is going to be best ongoing?
So I would have also chosen 14 for this as well, but that last expansion, people were not super into it.
They weren't
There were
keen on
people
it.
that
Yeah.
were, and then there were people that were very loud about it not being super great. So I will say No Man's Sky as well.
All right. No Man's Sky. All right, let's jump into best mobile game. I don't know if we know the answer to this, but we're trying to
Best
rack
mobile
up
game, is
prediction
that even a
points
thing,
here.
Tim?
Hey. All right, we've got Destiny Rising, Persona 5, The Phantom X, Sonic Rumble, Uma Musume, Pretty Derby. That sounds disturbing. Or Wuthering Waves. I think it's Wuthering Waves. I've heard a ton about that one. I feel like it's super, super popular. I think it's gonna win, but
Yeah,
I don't know. What do you think?
it's a dumb name for a game. I feel like I'm just copying you these last three because I was gonna say that one as well. So
It's also the only one that I really recognize. I didn't know there was a Destiny or Persona 5 mobile game. Like some of this is news to me, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh,
Sonic
okay.
Rumble I have heard of, but
Yeah.
but
Oh, not debut indie. We need to do best independent game, I think is next up for us. Best indie game. There's 6 to choose from here. We've got Absalom, we've got Ball X Pit, Blueprints, Clear Obscure, Expedition 33, Hades 2, or Hollow Knight Silk Song. I think this is a pretty stacked category for best overall indie
mm,
game. Setting aside all the arguments about what classifies as a indie, setting aside all that, what do you think, Dan, will win best independent game at the Game Awards this week?
my heart says it'll probably be Silk Song.
Okay.
Feel.
Silk Song for best indie. I'm going to say Hades 2 wins this one. All right, let's just check in with Jeff's picks. He thinks Claire Obscure will win best indie. Marvel Rivals will win best ongoing. Persona 5 Phantom X for best mobile. Baldur's Gate for community support. And also Assassin's Creed for accessibility. All right, we're on to games for impact, which we talked about again last week. We've got Consume Me, Despelot, Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, South of Midnight, and Wanderstop. Dan, which one do you think is going to win games for impact?
Go to South of Midnight. That game's cool. I mean, I haven't even played it yet, which shame on me, but what a
That
cool,
game
unique game that.
is awesome. I feel like one of the other little games that I don't know will probably win, but I'm going to pick this one just because it's the only one I've
Mm.
played. And who knows? It could win. It deserves some kind of recognition. It's a really cool, action platformer with a great narrative. I think it's good. All right, here we go. We're getting to the difficult ones here. Best performance. We've got Ben Starr, Charlie Cox, Erika Ishii, Jennifer English, Konatsu Kato, and Troy Baker. Dan, who takes home the trophy for best performance?
Oh, okay, this one is tough. And, and 3 of them are freaking Claire Obscure. Dude, Claire Obscure
Yeah,
just demolishing this year's Game Awards.
it's
Um,
amazing. Yeah.
okay. I feel like it's between Ben and Jennifer.
Okay.
Um, Ismael is just such a great character, and so is
Mm-hmm.
um shoot,
Verso.
why can't I remember his name? Because it's not Verso, thank you. Because I was thinking Gustav, but
Mm-hmm.
that's Charlie.
That's Charlie. Yeah.
I'm gonna say Ben Star.
All
But
right.
with my Final Fantasy 16 boy.
That's
So
right. I'm gonna go Jennifer English, but I wouldn't be
right.
surprised if either of them won it. I wouldn't be surprised if Troy Baker won it because his interpretation of the indie was super impressive, or Eric Ishii for that matter, because Atsu is a more layered character than you might anticipate when you first start that game. The first few
Mhm.
hours in, you're kind of like, yeah, she's pretty boring and one note, and I get it, but she's got a lot to her.
Oh,
She's a very
revenge,
interesting
right?
character.
Revenge.
Right. There's so much more to her that. So she did a great job. Eric Ishii
Yeah.
did, and so anyway, a lot of deserving performances for sure. Jeff
Mhm.
picked Ben Starr and Wanderstop for those last two. Wanderstop for Games for Impact,
Oh,
and Ben
okay.
Starr, he's with you on Verso for that one. All right, we're into audio design. Then we'll get to score and music. So audio design, we've got Battlefield 6, Claire Obscure, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yote, and Silent Hill F. Dan, I'll go first on this one. I'm going to say Death Stranding 2 takes audio design because I don't think it's going to win music. I'm not saying it doesn't have good music. I'm not offending anybody. Believe me, I'm just saying I think something else will win that. So I think this one will get audio design. But what do you think will win for best audio design?
I usually always lean horror with audio design because I feel like
Okay.
one, it's
Do you think
incredibly
Silent Hill
important,
F might get
and
a shout out here?
yeah, and usually it's done very well, especially with the high profile horror games. So yeah, Silent
Yeah.
Hill F.
All right. Final 5 categories here. Best score and music. Beautiful music this year. So many good choices. Hollow Knight Silk Song, Hades 2, Claire Obscure, Ghost of Yote, and Death Stranding 2. I I think we've talked about this before too. I didn't find the Ghost Yote music to be stand out to the point that I could recognize it. That doesn't mean it's not amazing because it
Right.
is really good. But I didn't find it to be as
Yeah.
memorable. I haven't listened to Death Stranding 2 music yet. The other three are so good, but I am all in on Clair Obscur with this one. I think it's absolutely going to win best score this year. What do you think?
And I will Octopath Traveler 0 into existence here.
Yeah, you cannot.
Can I just will that into existence there? Um, I feel like, yeah, Claire Obscure.
Okay.
Death Stranding 2 is pretty close for me. Like, there's some great
Yeah.
stuff in there.
Yeah, Jeff also picked Clair Obscur for best music here. All right, let's get into art direction. We've got some familiar names: Clair Obscur, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei, Hades 2, and Hollow Knight Silk Song. Best art direction. Dan, you got to pick first this time. What do you think's taking home the win?
Hmm. See, I'm trying to think because like, is it insane to think that Claire Obscur just is going to basically take everything, or is there going to be more of a mixture than we realize?
I
And
mean,
that's
look
what
at
I'm
even this
trying to
picture right
think.
here. This is art right here. Like
I know,
even
I
this
know,
is like
yeah. It's straight up. I mean, the game is literally a painting. Like, it's straight up
it's
art.
a
Like,
yeah,
it's
right,
straight up.
right.
It's straight up art. But like Death Stranding 2 is like, there's things in that game that like I still
What I've
think
heard.
about, like
Yeah.
the lighting, and just like, there was like a specific
Mm-hmm.
moment, and it's just so insane and beautiful and just weird. Ah, and I feel like Death Stranding also, because like, again, Claire Obscur is in so many categories, and I feel like it's gonna clean house in so many of them. I want to just
yeah.
say Death Stranding too, just to give it love. I feel like maybe in this particular thing, it like edges out Claire Obscur just a little bit.
Okay. I think Claire Obscur
I
is
know,
going
it's
to win
tough.
this one. Um,
Yeah,
and Jeff picks Ghost of Yote for that one for best art direction. I do think it's a strong contender, but to me, it's more in the camp of Hades 2 and Hollow Knight. Beautiful games that kind of elevate what their predecessors did. But from what I've seen of Death Stranding 2 and what I know of Clair Obscur, they do so many new things that just melt your mind visually.
yeah,
I think they're a step above. Not because the other ones are bad. I just think
yeah,
I
yeah,
could be
yeah.
wrong. You know, one of these other ones could win it, but I think it's between these two personally. A lot of these categories at the top, I think, are between these two. Um, all right, so let's get into best narrative. Best narrative. Our nominees are same games except for a couple swapped out. We got Clair Obscur, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and Silent Hill F. All right, so it's on me to make this pick first. I'm going to be very boring, but I think Clair Obscur is going to win best narrative. Start to finish, my personal pick for favorite story this year, but that's coming from someone who also played Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and was like, this is in my top 10 all time games. Like, I love Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and I
Yeah.
love that story. And I think Clair Obscur has a better story. So it's a wild
There you
story, and
go.
I love it from start to finish. So
Yeah,
that's my pick. But what do you
yeah, I
think, Dan?
agree.
Do you think Clair Obscur
Claire Obscur.
on narrative? Okay.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
All right. And now we get into game direction. So creative vision and innovation in game direction and design sounds a little broad. I think typically we see these things either it's the main game gets both, or a lot of times if there's two games that are pretty close in game of the year, one of them gets direction. It seems like it's hard to know how this works.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
but Dan, you got to go first. What do you think will win best game direction? We've got Hades 2. Oh,
I
sorry,
think
I'll go
this
this way:
is.
Split Fiction, Hades 2, Ghost of Yotei, Death Stranding, and Clair Obscur.
I think this is where we praise Kojima for his Kojima-ness and all his Kojima shenanigans, and we say, "Hey, you,
Yeah,
the director, Kojima,
yeah,
here's your award."
yeah. All right. So you think Death Stranding 2 takes this one?
Yes,
Dan, I agree with you. I think Death Stranding 2 will win for best game direction. There's a bond between Keeley and Kojima that can't be denied, but I am not saying it's just because they're
true.
buddies. I know Keeley doesn't pick the winners. I'm just joking around. I do think there will be that element of, hey, we've got two masterpieces. Claire Obscur is going to, I think, get most of the nod from people. It's not a sequel, it's brand new, it's a new studio. I think there's a lot that people will love about it inherently. That Death Stranding 2 didn't do anything wrong. It's just a sequel and it's a known quantity. So there's something, I think there's something there. But I think in this case, they'll be like, well, let's give direction to Death Stranding 2. I really do think that'll be kind of
Right.
like its next best thing to winning Game of the Year. Because, Dan, in the overall Game of the Year, I do believe Claire Obscure will take that title. What do you
We're
think
not
will
even
win?
pulling it up. We're just like,
What do you? Yeah, I know. What do you think will win Game of the Year? We've got Claire Obscure, Death Stranding 2, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Hades 2, Hollow Knight Silk Song, and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. So, what do
ah,
you think will
man.
win?
And this is such a bonkers year because, like, in any other
Good
time, we've
year.
been like, oh,
Yeah.
Silk Song, because like literally Silk Song melted Steam. Like Steam was like,
Yeah.
oh, we're just not working. Like you can't get on here.
Right. And
Like
Hades 2 is
Silk Song,
breaking
and
records
then
with review scores. Like the review
yeah,
scores for Hades 2 are
mm,
like insane. Like it's like a Zelda game averages that it's getting. It's insane.
yeah.
Um, yeah.
And I mean, Donkey Kong Bonanza, I think deserves to be on here because like it's the first like 3D, like the
Yeah.
first like good, excellent 3D Donkey Kong game.
That's right. Yep.
And it is
And
legitimately
Astrobot
incredibly
proved that
fun, and
like
obviously,
family-friendly platformers can
yeah,
totally win. So it's
yeah,
definitely deserving. It's just a rough year for it to be competing. That's
yeah.
all.
And
So
Kingdom Come
what do you,
Deliverance is like that little guy that could too, and it's like they
yeah,
kind of they deserve it too, but like
smaller
again, yeah,
studio.
this you know,
And what I love about it too is it's a studio that's from the country where the game is set, and they're telling their own. It's kind of
yeah,
their own historical fiction of, their country's history. So much to love about
yeah,
that and what they do in that game. It is a very niche game. To be fair though, and so is Death Stranding too. So is Hollow Knight, and it's a tough
yes,
platformer. So like, but I would say more than the others, it's a very deep, really involved niche game. So that's why it's different, I think.
mhm, yeah,
And a lot of the voters probably will not have played Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. They probably will have heard how well it's reviewing and that people love it, but a lot of
yeah.
people won't bother playing it. So,
And
um,
then of course, Death Stranding 2 is Death Stranding 2, but I do think it's Claire,
that's right.
so I do think Claire
Crab
wins.
Gear. Okay. All right, Dan. Let's see what our buddy Jeff thought with audio design. He thinks Silent Hill F also. With score, Clair Obscure. With art direction, Ghost of Yote. With narrative, Clair Obscure. Direction, Death Stranding. And overall, Clair Obscure. So he's pretty on par with what we were thinking here. Let me freeze this row so I can see it. Is there a way to freeze the row? Someone help me here.
I
I can't remember where
I
it
do not
is.
use Excel as much as you do.
I thought there was a quick way to freeze it. That's okay. I'm going to just bring ChatGPT over here so I can just do it side by side. It's easier that way. All right. Let's see what they think. Let's see if we can
The
start from
machine
down
thinks.
here.
A heartless machine, Tim.
I know. They might not have picked every category. I might have to fill these in later, but I'll give you just a taste of some of them. So, for example, they think that best family game, they agree. Donkey Kong Bonanza will win. It agrees. Best ongoing game, it thinks Final Fantasy 14.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. Best action adventure, it says Hollow Knight Silk Song. For best indie game, it also thinks Hollow Knight Silk Song. For best, is there an open world category this year that we missed?
Oh,
Huh.
I don't know.
I think it's making up categories. Chat GPT, what are you doing? All right, so for best RPG, it thinks Clair Obscure. For best action game, it thinks Hades 2. For best performance, it doesn't even have the right nominee in here. It thinks the Death Stranding 2 lead actor will win that one.
Oh,
So
okay. So Norman
Daryl
Reedus.
Dixon, Norman Reedus, yeah,
Yep.
that's funny. All right, so I'll have to go back to ChatGPT and ask it for specifics. Who will win between the? I'll just have so I can fill this
Yeah.
in. For best audio design, it thinks Death Stranding 2. For best score and music, Claire Expedition 33. Art direction, also Claire Obscure. Best narrative, Claire Obscure.
It's being more
Overall winner,
boring than we are.
I know it has a lot of the same picks: best direction, Death Stranding, and best game of the year, Claire Obscure. So, and I'll go through and fill in the rest of these, but it'll be interesting to see
Mhm.
if it, just like previously with our nominees, we were right on most of them. We just missed a few. ChatGPT got them all right.
Mhm.
Like, didn't miss one,
Yeah,
down the line.
yeah.
So we'll have to wait and
Scary,
see.
Tim. It's actually scary.
It is. I agree with you. It is scary. But Dan, I think that does it for us for this week. We can wrap this one up, and then next week it'll be all about our reactions, our responses to the winners, of course, from Game Awards to celebrate those, but also the inevitable announcements, reveals, or maybe like release dates, whatever it is we end up getting throughout the night. I'm excited to see all of those as well with our wintertime kind of Christmas E3. Can't wait for that. So, um,
Yeah.
before we wrap up, is there anything else real quick that you wanted to highlight you've been playing or watching before we sign off?
Um. Oh, Stranger Things. It's finally here, Tim.
You've
The
been watching
final
it? Okay.
season is
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
So I watched the four
Nice.
first episodes because they're, doing the thing of splitting it up, which, I hate, but I wasn't gonna
Yeah.
wait because everyone's just gonna spoil everything online because it's the last season of Stranger Things ever. So um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's pretty great. Pretty great.
Nice.
And the kids don't look like kids, but it's okay. They don't look
Yeah.
like kids anymore, but it's
They're
okay.
all weird
It is what it
adults now.
is.
It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. It's okay.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it's pretty dark. So it's some brutal scenes. Like I mean, the show has gotten obviously over the years more brutal,
It
as the
has.
kids have grown up. Um, but this one is definitely already in the first four episodes, like worse. Like
Yeah.
yeah, there's some. Yeah,
There's some stuff.
we're in the end game, Tim. The end game.
Nice. Well, I have not been playing a ton outside of Metroid and some of the other games we've already discussed here a little bit. I did play a little more. I think I mentioned it last week. I was going to start that Opus Echo of Star Song. It is a cool little narrative
Oh, okay.
adventure game. There's some gameplay elements to it with like managing your ship and things like that and exploring, but a lot of it really is just dialogue. And I mean, it's a narrative adventure game. So
Hmm.
go check it out. Go check out the trailer for it though, folks. If that sounds appealing to you, if you want a good story game, this one's got insane reviews. I do find the setting and the story somewhat compelling, if not a little over my head, and I think you just have to stick with it for a lot of the pieces to fall into place. It's one of
Yeah.
those stories that they say a lot of things that you're like, this is not terminology I know. Maybe I'll learn it as I watch this unfold.
Sure.
But I don't
Sure.
know what they're saying sometimes. But anyway,
That's pretty
overall,
common
very
with
good, very high
sci-fi stuff,
quality.
right? I
It
mean,
it
they build their own
absolutely
little
is.
world, their universe, their own
Yes.
lingo and jargon.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah. But so far, pretty cool game. I've still got it installed. I'm going to keep playing through that as well. But that does it for us for this week. Thank you all for watching, for listening, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.